without works is dead. Let me explain what that means.
And I'm going to explain the contradiction from James saying faith without works is dead, and from Paul saying you're saved by faith alone.
So the book of James is all about what our faith should look like. Specifically, James 2:17 is where we get our quote, faith without works is dead. James is not saying that we are saved by our works. This is also repeated in Ephesians 2:8-9. And both make it very clear that salvation is by grace through faith. What James is saying is that real faith produces actual evidence, action, obedience, love, and fruit in your life. In James, he gives an example of this, and one of them is, for example, you see a homeless person. Do you just say to him, God bless you, or do you actually help him? Abraham believed, but his faith was counted onto him when he obeyed and acted on his faith. So let me explain a dead faith versus a living faith. A dead faith is belief in God's existence, but there's no transformation. There's no action regarding this. A living faith is a trust in God that changes your priorities, your choices, and how you treat other people. For example, saying, I definitely trust in God, but then living completely self-reliant is a dead faith. Saying, I love Jesus, but refusing to obey him or love him is a dead faith. In other words, a true living, saving faith moves from lip service to a life service. Faith without works just looks like a body without breath. It looks like it's there, but it's lifeless. But with this, a lot of people think that it's a contradiction in the Bible, from James saying, well, you need works because of course it's going to be dead faith, and then Paul saying salvation is by faith alone. So let me clear that up for you. Paul was speaking to a different audience versus who James was speaking to. Paul emphasizes that no one earns salvation by doing just good deeds. What James was teaching is that faith is evidenced by works. James was simply focusing on the quality and authenticity of faith. Paul was talking about how we are saved, and James was talking about how faith shows that it's alive and real after salvation. So think of it like this. Paul is saying you get into the house by faith. You don't earn the door key by doing just good deeds. And James says once you're inside, your actions show that you truly belong there. So there's no contradiction. They're just simply describing different parts of the same exact process, and I hope that clears it up for those who thought that there was a contradiction. I will see you in the next video, and God bless.